One citywide special election in Duval County just sets up the next.
What will happen is in February, on the 22nd, we'll have the runoff between the two top vote getters.
We're following the race to replace a Jacksonville legend. Both remaining city council candidates are with us in studio on This Week in Jacksonville. State Representative Angie Nixon is also joining us today. We'll speak with her in just a few more minutes. What started as a four-way race is now a two-way race for a citywide seat on the Jacksonville City Council. Tuesday's special unitary election was to replace the late Tommy Hazuri, who passed away in September. We don't have a final result in that race yet, but we do have results from this past week. Democrat Tracy Polson finished with 37%, slightly ahead of Republican Nick Howland's 36%. They will face off in that February 22nd runoff. The other two candidates, Democrat James Coach Jacobs and Republican Howland Howdy Russell, each got about 14% of the vote. Turnout overall, less than 13%. And we are going to speak with both of the candidates today. We begin with Dr. Tracy Polson, who has 630 more votes than Nick Howland this past week. Dr. Polson, I know Democrats had a lead from early voting going into Election Day, and then saw that shrink on Election Day. How were results? What you expected? Anything surprise you from this past Tuesday?
No, we were expecting that. I mean, we know that Democrats typically do better with vote by mail and early voting, and then Republicans typically turn out hard on Election Day. So with four candidates in the race, I think we saw the results that our team at least was expecting.
There was some math involved there. Yes. Hey, if there are this many votes.
Exactly.
It is interesting to me that when we saw kind of the final numbers, that very close, fewer than 100 difference between Republican votes cast and Democrat votes cast.
Yeah, that was...
So tell me about going forward. So now we've got a couple more months. How does the Dr. Tracy Polson campaign shift here, or is it a continuation of what you've done in these last couple months?
Well, I think it will be both. We'll look at the results from Tuesday, and we're still doing the analysis on that to see where I got the votes, where I need to get more votes, the communities that I need to continue talking to. We've been holding town halls. We have several topic areas that we'll be addressing in our town halls moving forward, hosting fundraisers, knocking on doors, basically engaging voters throughout Jacksonville. More of what we did in the last couple of months.
So following the election, some of the critics were pointing, hey, you did a lot of your own fundraising, or you paid campaign funds from yourself or took loans. Why? They're arguing that you spent your own money. Why does that matter?
Well, first of all, I think it's important that people know where the money comes from. I mean, my opponent has money where people don't really know where his money is coming from.
And that's a political action committee kind of statement?
Correct.
Okay.
And so I think, my reports are transparent. People know exactly how much of my own money we put into this campaign. I've likened this special election as sort of like creating an Army field hospital in 60 days, like a pop-up campaign. Luckily, I ran before. So in 2018, I ran for the Florida House, and I was thinking about running for this race when Tommy was term limited in 2023. So I had some ideas on who I wanted to be on my team. I had no idea it was going to be this fast. And so you had to be ready to jump in, and so that's what we did. We raised money in addition to the money that I loaned myself. And it was those funds that helped us be the top vote getter on Tuesday.
Yeah, we do see that. It makes a difference having that in your account. What's the biggest issue for you when it comes to a City of Jacksonville leadership, and as a council member, what could you provide? I
mean, one of the things that we've been talking a lot about is the need for trust and transparency. I mean, we have seen folks try to sell JEA, the Lot J debacle, which was done as a backroom deal, and people in this community are not okay with their elected representatives doing shady deals. We need to have folks that are accountable to the people who put them in office. So we're talking a lot about that. In addition, though, I'm talking a lot about public safety, but from the lens of a mental health professional, which, as you know, I am. When Tommy was council president, he created the Safer Together Committee. And one of the recommendations was to expand the co-responder program at JSO. Now, this is a program they already have. This is already happening. And so you're going to hear a lot about how I'm, for defunding the police. What I'm for is making sure that we don't put people in the county jail that belong in a treatment center, that have mental health problems, and the last place that they need to be is in the jail. I mean, Mike Williams agrees that that's the #1 provider of mental health services, and I think that shouldn't be necessary. No, and I think it's because folks JSO need to have the support. They need to have somebody with them that can say, hey, I've got this, or this is how we can talk to this person to de-escalate and prevent that. That will save money. If we're not putting people who need to be in treatment in jail, I think we'll save money there.
Yeah, and maybe wrap up, we've got about a minute left here, but you've talked about being a great listener by training. How does that make you qualified for leading out or being part of the city council that is leadership for the citizens of Jacksonville?
Yeah, so I listen hard, but I'm also not afraid to ask the tough questions, even questions that may make me look like I don't know something. Like, I'm a lifelong learner and I know a lot about what I know about, but if I don't know about something, I'm gonna ask that question. I don't care what it makes me look like. Like, I want to have the information, and I'm going to do that when hopefully people will elect me to city council.
Yeah, and maybe final thing, you mentioned, I saw on your website, your campaign site, that you're also a cancer survivor. Does that affect what you want to accomplish when it comes to healthcare or anything else for people in Jacksonville?
Absolutely, and I was diagnosed in 2012, and I've been cancer-free for years now, and I'm grateful for that. I had excellent health care, but we know that in Jacksonville, healthcare inequality and inequity is a real thing. And so that would absolutely be something that I would talk about when I'm elected.
Yeah. Well, election opportunities coming up on February 22nd. Dr. Tracy Polson, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, Kent.
All right, Navy veteran Nick Howland is the other candidate who will be on that ballot in February. He's with us next here on This Week in Jacksonville. Stay with us.
Subaru of Jacksonville is sharing more love during the Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru donates with every new car purchase. Subaru of Jacksonville matches that donation to equal $500. Give back with Subaru of Jacksonville.
Drive a Subaru. You'll buy a Subaru.
It's the weekend, and we know accidents can happen anytime. That's why we're here for you 24/7. Don't wait until Monday. Call Farah & Farah.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
Marine 4 on News 4 Jax, Channel 4, the local station.
I didn't have to shout out for help.
Because you didn't have another DVT. Not today.
One blood clot put you at risk of having another, so we chose Xarelto to help keep you protected.
Xarelto is proven to treat and reduce the risk of DVT or PE blood clots from happening again. Almost 98% of people did not have another DVT or PE. Don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase risk of blood clots. While taking, a spinal injection increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis. You may bruise more easily or take longer to stop bleeding. Xarelto can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. Don't take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures and any kidney or liver problems. Help protect yourself from another DVT or PE. Ask your doctor about Xarelto. To learn more about cost, visit Xarelto.com or call 1-888-XARELTO.
Enter the magical world of childlike imagination during the First Coast Nutcracker with the Jacksonville Symphony, December 17th, 18th, and 19th. Call 354-5547 or go to jacksymphony.org to get your First Coast Nutcracker tickets today.
The Subaru Share the Love event brings year-end savings and big donations at Subaru of Jacksonville. Drive a new 22 Subaru starting at just 1.9% financing, plus $500 donations with every Subaru sold. Make a difference with Subaru of Jacksonville.
Drive a Subaru. You'll buy a Subaru.
The morning show on Channel 4, #1 9 straight years and counting.
Every morning, see just how many local stories cover news that impact your family.
Watching and tracking the changes in the weather so you can plan your day.
Getting you around tie-ups of time-saver traffic.
Getting you ready for the day ahead.
Saving you money and alerting you to scams and ripoffs with Consumer Reports.
You just gotta see it.
We'll get your day started right.
The morning show on Channel 4 makes mornings happen.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville with Kent Justice.
And we're joined right now by Nick Howland, who leads a local nonprofit called the Fire Watch. He's the Republican candidate still on the ballot when it comes to this special election coming up here. In February, it's a runoff, really called a general election, but it's about the city council race.
Right.
And as I look at this, Nick, our previous guest had 630 more votes out of almost 81,000. So obviously very, very tight there. How do you feel about the results from Tuesday? Any surprises for you?
Oh, Kent, we're thrilled about the results. I mean, it was clearly an outpouring of support for our message. Jacksonville's a military town, it's a business town, it's a family town, and those three groups really rallied around what we have to say and our vision for the city.
Tough when it comes to special elections like this, but turnout was only 12.6%. Among the parties, though, 36,933 Democrats voted, 36,861 Republicans, so only a 68-vote difference there. Clearly, Duval County is very much a battleground here.
Sure.
How do you turn out the right people and more votes when it comes to February?
Well, the momentum's going our way. You know, I'm a big college basketball fan. It felt like my opponent got out to a head start. We caught up at the end of the first half, and we're going to carry that momentum all the way through the second half till the buzzer sounds on February 22nd. And I think the reason we're gaining so much momentum is because our message resonates across the entire city. You know, we're about safer streets, safer neighborhoods, more jobs, particularly manufacturing jobs, logistics jobs, middle-class jobs, as well as a strategic plan for Jacksonville. We are at a critical juncture, Kent. You know, our population is near 1 million now. Actually, it probably exceeds 1 million because the 2020 census had 1 million. And we're probably going to be at 1.2, 1.3 by the time the next census rolls around in 2030. So we need to do some things now. The city needs strong leadership now in order to get to where we want to be in 10 years.
So I was going to ask you about that. I've heard you mention that critical juncture component before because of the population changes. What's at stake there? What makes it a critical juncture?
Well, if you think about it, it's directly relevant to the population growth. But if you think about it, Jacksonville has so many great natural assets. You know, the ocean, the river, the wetlands, all the space we have. We're a low tax environment. We have great quality of life. Those are things that pretty much every other city in America would love to have right now. And we'll be inundated with new citizens. So, you know, we need to make sure that we maintain our quality of life in the neighborhoods that we have now. And when we grow with new residents, that we grow in a smart and a strategic way, leveraging the assets that we have.
So tell me about what you would hope to accomplish if you're elected to council, and if it's not too on point, it's Republican majority there on council already, and as a Republican, are you saying, yeah, I'm going to do what you've already seen, or is there a different priority that you have?
Well, the beauty of an at-large role is that you can kind of take a citywide perspective on things. And again, one of my primary issues is safer streets, and that means right-sizing our police force. Right now, we're 300 officers short of where we need to be. And with that growth, we're going to need to right-size the force and make sure we grow at the pace that is necessary to keep our city safe. That's a key element of it. And also jobs, you know, and I mentioned that before, because we're doing a good job of targeting financial services companies to Jacksonville. What we need to do is grow logistics and manufacturing companies, and we can do that by simply expanding our targeted industries that we look at with the current administration and the city council. But most importantly, there's other elements moving forward that we need to look at. And when I talk about a strategic plan, there have to be a handful of key elements. So, any strategic plan we develop for the city needs to be something that survives a turnover of a mayoral administration, turnover of city council, and it has to have, of course, the first 2 points I've already made, a focus on public safety, as well as a focus on job creation. But we also need to look at other things. You know, we need to invest in our downtown. You know, if you look 10 years from now, we better have a very strong, revitalized waterfront, one of the best in the nation. We also need to focus on educational opportunities for our children in all parts of the city. So we're talking about better options for parents to put their children in, whether that be magnet schools, charter schools, or their neighborhood schools. It's something that Jacksonville has led the way in, and it's something that we need to grow further to make sure that opportunities exist for all kids in Jacksonville.
So Nick, this seat was vacated with the passing of Tommy Hazouri, the former mayor, former council president. Had you met him or did you know him? Any similarities to what you would bring to what this lifelong public servant in Jacksonville did?
Sure, I met Tommy a couple times. Great guy, and you know, a legacy of 30 years of service to his city. That's where the similarity is. You know, I've lived in Jacksonville for 15 years. I've served the city for about a dozen of those years, 8 years on the city's Environmental Protection Board, 4 years on the First Coast Manufacturing Association Board, and a year on the city's Charter Revision Board, the most recent Charter Revision Board. And if there's a piece of his legacy that I want to adopt, it's my servant leadership to my city.
All right. First thing you would address if elected here, because you'll have that kind of short window, finish the term, and then it's like, we got to start running for office again.
Yeah, well, it goes back to really my first priority, and that's public safety. So working with JSO to see how we can make sure that we're overcoming the sheriff's challenges on recruiting and retaining officers to JSO.
All right. Nick Howland, appreciate it. The general election in Duval County scheduled for February 22nd. Republican Nick Howland and then Democrat Tracy Polson, who you just heard from on the ballot. Nick, thank you.
Thank you, Kent.
All right, state representatives have been meeting in Tallahassee ahead of the legislative session. We're hosting local lawmaker Angie Nixon. That's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
If you've been injured by medical malpractice, call Farah & Farah for a free review of your case, even if another firm has turned your case down. Farah & Farah.
Grandma, how wide are two reindeer? 27, 28, 29.
We've been waiting all year to come together.
It worked!
Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
Well, hello, Winn-Dixie.
You hear that, bro?
No, what is it?
It's the most rewarding time of the year. Drop that jingle!
Deck our carts with lots of winning. When Dixie meets have got us grinning. Fa la 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 la. All the freshest picks before us. Fa la 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 la. Earn rewards and join the chorus. Fa la 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 la. Thanks to you for points and savings. Fa la 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 la.
Whoa, we forgot the rolls. I'll get them.
I got both kinds.
Perfect feast for all our cravings. Fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la.
Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win.
Shoeboxes of Love shares the holiday spirit with the homeless in our community, and you can help by filling a shoebox with travel-sized personal care items and then wrapping the box in a new blanket. Donations can be dropped off at any of these locations. Get all the details on the Positively Jax page on news4jax.com.
You just said that your son's been shot.
A local mom charged $26,000 after her son is flown to the ER. Why many aren't protected by a Florida law that bans surprise bills like this.
Thought about refinancing my house.
Air Ambulance, Tuesday at 5 p.m. on News 4 Jax.
This holiday season, give the gift of go with SunPass Mini and SunPass Pro. They'll get to explore new roads in their car, going on drives both near and far. It's a gift of discovery, adventure, and exploration, of weekend getaways, and maybe even a long vacation. So stuff their stockings with Drive this year and celebrate the holidays with plenty of cheer. SunPass Mini and SunPass Pro, the always appreciated gift of go.
Morgan & Morgan is not only America's largest injury law firm, we're also a local law firm with branch offices right here in your community. We're here for you. Wherever you are, whatever you need, there's only one Morgan & Morgan for the people.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. This week, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis unveiled his nearly $100 billion budget for next year, calling it his Freedom First budget. A lot included in his proposal, but here's a look at some of the items the governor says will keep more money in the pockets of Florida families. A fuel tax holiday to provide a reprieve from rising gas prices. Governor DeSantis saying that it's going to save families more than $1 billion. A second round of $1,000 bonus checks for teachers and principals. Raising the minimum K-12 teacher salary to $47,500, and 25% raises for all veterans, state sworn law enforcement, and 20% salary increases for entry-level law enforcement there. State Representative Angie Nixon from Jacksonville joining us, a member of the Democratic caucus. We've been looking for a chance to talk about the upcoming legislative session. Just so happens that the governor's budget came out this week, and so let's start there. What's your reaction to this announcement?
My reaction is just more of the status quo. Unfortunately, this budget does not go far enough. It does have a lot of Democratic-leaning values and budget requests in there, but again, it doesn't go far enough. And you know, that gas tax break that he's touting is actually $1.2 billion of that is coming from the federal government. So we need to give credit to where it actually we should give credit to where it's come from, which is President Biden and his Build Back Better Act and the infrastructure bills and things like that. And so also, you know, the governor is touting that he is putting in more money into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, but they just cut the Affordable Housing Trust Fund by nearly 2/3 last year. If it would not have been cut, we would have nearly $420 million that people could have so that they can become first-time home buyers, so that we can help them with their rent and things like that. And so it's very unfortunate that the governor is being disingenuous, and so we really need to thank President Biden as well as the Democrats on this money that's coming to the state.
Okay, so you have a venue for explaining this. Well, now that sounds like I don't want to say sour grapes, but you're saying, hey, there are these things that look like Democratic items that is in the governor's proposal, but you're saying it's not enough.
It's not
Why
enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough because we still have nearly $15 billion in reserves, and families are still hurting. We need to expand Medicaid. That is something that's really near and dear to my heart.
Governor DeSantis and his predecessor, Governor Scott, have said for a long time, no, we're not expanding Medicaid. No.
Exactly, that's the issue. And then, you know, Kent, you and I just talked about it. I'm a mother. I have a 15-month-old, and the cost of child care is ridiculous. It's nearly $245 to $300 a week alone, and that's unfortunately more than some people's mortgages. And so this does not address that at all. And so again, the governor does not go far enough, especially considering that Florida has so many issues that Floridians here in the state are facing.
Representative Nixon, House Democrats laid out some priorities last week ahead of the governor's announcement, and include public education funding for all school staff, affordable housing assistance, you just talked about that a moment ago, health care benefits, social services, tax help for people who aren't big corporations. Are those some of the things that, when it comes to legislative session, and the main priority of that 60 days is we got to get a state budget, is that something Democrats will push back on or try and steer that budget so that it comes closer to what you want?
Right, and so we, of course, as a Democratic caucus, we actually laid out a people-centered budget that we wanted the governor to pass and put forth. As I stated earlier, he's somewhat there, but again, it's just not enough, and it's going to be up to our state legislature to make sure that this budget goes as far as it needs to go. And we hope that if it does not, that the governor uses his veto pen to stop it.
So I want to show you some other items in the governor's budget. They include $1.4 billion in funding for early child education, $4.4 billion in funds allocated to protect Florida's environment and natural resources, more than $100 million for the Florida National Guard, and as the governor announced earlier this month, $5.4 million proposed to establish the Florida State Guard. I know that initially we talked, you want to talk about the Build Back Better plan. And I want to hear your view on how that impacts Northeast Florida as President Biden works to get that out into all 50 states.
Right. And so it is going to be a game changer here in the state of Florida, which is a sharp contrast to what Governor DeSantis has done in the past, right? And so, again, talking about child care, it would cap the amount you would have to pay for child care for middle-class families, only up to 7% of their income. So that is such a game changer. And again, I'm just coming from the perspective of being a mom. That's thousands of dollars that can be saved. Also, the Build Back Better Act, and just let's talk about the infrastructure deal, right? And so that is going to bring thousands of jobs here. It's going to help it's going to help better our roads and our infrastructure and our bridges and things like that. We have a port here Can you imagine how many jobs are going to come because of this infrastructure bill? And this Build Back Better Act is just, it's great. And we really need to start championing it and really tout all the great things that's going to come from it. It's going to help lower prescription cost. It's going to help lower energy cost, right? Up to $500 a year for families. And that is really what's needed here in our great state.
Critics would point to, yeah, but look how much that costs. What's your answer to folks who are concerned about that?
So my answer to that is that, you know, the governor is touting his great budget, but a third of his budget comes from the federal government. And so we need the federal government to help right the wrongs of 20 years of failed Republican leadership in our state.
All right, let me make sure that I want you to know, you can see the entire Freedom First budget proposal. You go to newsforjax.com, then click on This Week in Jacksonville, and that section, again, you can see all the budget proposal from the governor. Hey, I wanted to talk about this. When it comes to legislative session, you referenced this just a couple of months ago. We saw a week ago the Supreme Court listen to oral arguments about this Mississippi law about abortion. Roe versus Wade could hang in the balance here. Other states, including Florida, have said, hey, we might want legislation like this as well. What's your view on that? How concerned are you about Florida passing something like this as well?
So I believe that Black women are 4 times more likely to have issues in childbirth, right? I'm an older, newer mom, and so I was worried about possibly death on the table. And so I think that a woman's right to choose should be between her and her doctor and her God. And we should, as a government, stay out of that.
And there's the possibility that the government will, I mean, the government is already involved in certain aspects of that, but it seems like a lot hangs in the balance here as we head toward January, right?
Unfortunately, a lot does hang in the balance, but again, we should not be legislating a woman's body. And so we need to allow a woman to have autonomy over her own body.
So here it comes. We got the holidays, and then you all will be in Tallahassee starting in January for our legislative session. State Representative Angie Nixon, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Kent.
All right, so we will continue bringing you lawmakers ahead of that legislative session. We've got a handful on the schedule already. This Week in Jacksonville, as you know, airs each Sunday morning at this time. I'm Kent Justice. Thanks for watching on air on Channel 4, and you can see us at noon on the CW17. And you'll always find episodes online at newsforjax.com.